Terrorism in the US continues as the left finds new ways to falsely accuse Trump and the right wing of doing things they never did. And they somehow find a way to cover up all the hate crimes and all the death and all the shootings as nothing more than peaceful protests. This thing started out as police brutality needs to end and Black Lives Matter. I don't know if most of you know this because the news isn't covering it this much, but a St. Louis police captain who is black was killed by a looter. Now obviously CNN doesn't cover this because this doesn't fit their narrative of all Black Lives Matter. You wanna know why? All they care about is their agenda, okay? It's just, that's it. This movement started out as Black Lives Matter when every life matters. But you know what? Clearly Black lives don't matter if they're willing to kill a black person right here, right now. This doesn't make any sense. Okay, if their whole movement was based around this, then why would they do this? They can't explain it because they don't care. They are in it for the money. We have had countless and countless interviews with people rioting in the streets, all saying that while sure, George Floyd racism and like kind of it, we're here for money. We are here to rob, we are here to steal, we are here to cause violence, and yet the left still defends them. Even after the rioters broke into their main HQ, destroying windows and harming staff, CNN still defends them. Why? Are they this desperate? It's only because they hate Trump. Okay, our leftist and liberal elites, our mayors and governors, have failed us, telling the police not to intervene with these violent riots and acts of terrorism. And now the left tries to portray Trump as a dictator for using the National Guard. These things could have never happened if our leftist elites were a little more competent, don't you realize? Our mayors and our governors in New York criticize New York's finest police for being faulty when they are the ones who told them not to intervene, when they are the ones who are allowing rich celebrities to bail out constant rioters. Constantly. They allow it to happen. And then they try to shift the blame because they can't take the blame. Like, what? Now you're thinking this doesn't make sense. Well, yeah, it obviously doesn't make sense. None of it makes sense. Terrorism in the US is continuing. The left endorses it. The far left endorses it. They plan it. People are dying in the streets, and the media acts like it's fine. People are being beaten to death. Officers are being shot defending store owners who had nothing to do with this. They are being ran over. They are having Molotov cocktails chucked at them. And it's fine according to the media. The media tried to portray what happened on Monday as Trump told US soldiers to fire upon innocent protesters, which anyone who has half a brain and actually knows how to look into things instantly found out that that's not true. Not only did the police not use tear gas on those peaceful protesters who actually weren't peaceful, they just pushed them back. A couple arrests, that's it. Now, the media's always like, well, they were peaceful protesters. Yeah, I'm sure the people who were chucking water bottles and bricks and rocks at the police were peaceful. I'm sure the people climbing on top of burnt buildings and shouting were peaceful. I'm sure the same people who burned down the church were peaceful. People say that Trump ordered the police to move so he could take his photo shoot. The police were already supposed to move their perimeter 1 block that morning, and they didn't. So the head of security, when they arrived, after being hit with a water bottle, told them to move perimeter. So they did. Whether that happened or not, the CIA would have still protected Trump even if the rioters were still there. If you are more offended by the fact that our president took a picture as a symbol to show that tyranny will not reign in the US, if you're more offended by that than the fact that the church was burned down, than the fact that police officers are being ran over, than the fact that people are dying in our streets, then you don't deserve to be a citizen of this country. I've said it before, I'll say it again. You don't deserve to be an American if that's your mindset. Okay? The police used smoke bombs to disperse the crowd, not even tear gas. We use smoke bombs in sports like airsoft, as in sports. Like, really? If you are going to cry and complain about smoke bombs, then why are you at the riot chucking Molotov cocktails and shooting police? Really? Really? It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't follow up because it's illogical, and the left still defends it after everything. They took a poll. Turns out 58% of Americans actually want the National Guard to come in and intervene, because we need it now that our left-wing politicians have failed us. Our left-wing governors have failed us. Our left-wing mayors have failed this country. So now Trump has to go in and fix their mess, and somehow the left still finds a way to make him look bad. They still do it. They persist. Everyone knows if Obama was to do exactly what Trump is doing now, he would be praised. He would be called a competent leader. He would be held to the highest standard. But since it's a Republican, they have to shame it. They just have to. Oh, it's good for the country? Well, he's Republican. We have to shame it. That's the only logic that goes through those people's heads. All they see is race and sexuality. They don't care about the context of your character. They don't care about anything. If you have a different color, skin, that's all they care about. That's just all they care about. Yes, I'm sure George Floyd would have loved for you to slander his name and steal the TV in his memory. I'm sure he would have loved to watch you beat out that innocent person defending their store in his memory. I'm sure he would have loved to watch that, wouldn't he? You know, that innocent person who's just trying to mind their own business and make their way in the world? Yeah, he would have loved to watch you beat that person's skull into the point where they were dead. He would have loved that, wouldn't he? No, he wouldn't have. The media needs to stop lying now. This is wrong, and they can't keep defending it like this. This is terrorism, and far-left groups are encouraging it and supplying it. And then our leftist elites are endorsing it and telling the police not to do anything, and then they blame the police and the president. The president is going to fix their mistakes whether they like it or not. This country is going to be fixed whether they like it or not. Shops are going to stop being looted, people are going to stop dying, and things are going to stop burning, whether they like it or not. Nothing is going to change that, no matter how many lies the media spews about anything. It's false. As I'm sure anyone with a brain knows, the Washington Post, which is left by the way, even came out with a statement and showed actual deaths to police, white and black. More people die to the police, white than black. More people unarmed die to the police, white than black. Yet the media still says it. Do you want to know of the 206 black people who have died to the police over the years versus the 312 whites? 10 of those black Americans were unarmed. Only 10. Want to know another fact? 6 of those 10 black Americans tried to run, and of the remaining 4, 2 tried to kill the police. That's not what the media says. They can't have that because that doesn't align with their idea of votes are worth more than human life. Those are the facts, but they exaggerate them. Now more people are dying, even black officers, black store owners. I thought this was for Black Lives Matter. Nope. They don't care. They don't care. They don't care what color of your skin is. They're there to loot, steal, and riot. I support the protests, but there is no protests anymore at this point. It's all riots, all terrorism, everything's burning. The place is going, America is going to fall, or was going to fall. Now that we know our president is actually competent, he will fix their mistakes for them. He's going to go out and fix their mistakes for them because of their failure. Using the National Guard isn't an act of a tyrant, as the media likes to portray it. Okay, because as we know, it's the right thing to do. He's offered the governors to use the National Guard, and the governors have rejected it, except in, what was it, Illinois? Minneapolis? I can't remember. But whatever governor actually decided to use the National Guard, there is no longer riots there. When Trump used the National Guard in DC, all the riots have dropped. But the governors still don't do it. They still don't do it. They are still failing. They still endorse it. What's funny is they don't even need the National Guard. For example, the NYPD has proven time and time and again they are plenty competent enough to deal with this. But their liberal mayors aren't, and they tell them to not deal with it. Thankfully, companies are actually taking a stand, like Apple locking their products so the rioters who stole them will not get any reward out of it. This is wrong and we need to fix this. This is TF2 Fan 1 Exact Shots logging off. Peace out.